No. Yeah, if quarterbacks are breaking records in there, that's a problem.
How are you feeling right now at this point in camp?
Yeah, I feel good. Obviously, there's things we always got to work on. I'm going to come up here and say that every day, but it's true. But things, feel really good. Obviously, the first day in pads, I thought the intensity was great from, the offense and the defense. And we all got to, hang out there and watch some special teams drills as well, which was pretty special. So, yeah, it was a good day.
Sam, what's the biggest difference for you going from taking reps with the ones to the twos, just in terms of what you see out there and how things change?
Honestly, it's besides some of the guys that are out there, it's not that big of a difference, which is really good. I think a lot of the guys on the twos are doing a really good job right now communicating and in terms of that and playing at the same level. So it's really there hasn't been a obviously the ones are the ones. You're playing with some different guys up there, but at the same time, it's the competition level is the same whether you're going with the ones or the twos.
Sam, you mentioned last week you hadn't been in a competition really since 2016. How do you keep the focus on you and not kind of be looking at what the other guys do?
Yeah, I think for me it's really just staying focused on one play at a time. I think that's all I can do, and that's what I would be doing anyways if I wasn't in a competition. So I think it's really staying focused on that and making sure that you're staying, you're keeping that linear focus, and you're not focused on, whatever it is, outside noise, or even in practice, you're not focused on the last play or the next play. You're focused on the play, that you're playing that down.
We've seen you congratulate Baker for good plays. Matt mentioned that also. Why is that important to you?
I think it's just kind of natural for both me and Baker to root for your teammates. Obviously, we both want to be the starting quarterback for this team, and that's apparent. But at the end of the day, it's not it's not really me or Baker making that decision, and I think that kind of makes it easier for us to root for each other, or just. I think when you're out there during practice, you end up kind of rooting for the offense as a whole anyways. You want to see the ball in the end zone. You want to see us play well. So that's kind of where that comes from.
How would you describe this competition? Is it fun, necessary, annoying?
I think that's kind of for you guys to kind of paint the picture. If I was worried about, how it made me feel or, this, that, or the other, it's, honestly, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, and I think at the end of the day, it's fun to be able to compete, no matter what you're doing. Even if I was a starter and I was a starter going into the season, knowing that right now I would still be competing at a very high level and having fun out there doing it.
Scott said that he wanted to do this in part because he wanted to raise that competition. Have you noticed yourself doing anything different or like more focused or anything? Like, has it brought something out in you that?
Not in particular that I noticed, but I think it's just about staying focused, and like I said before, I think it's about staying focused on the task at hand and not getting too worried about what happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow. I think it's staying, trying to, as best I can, to stay focused on the present.
In the red zone, the ball hit the ground a couple times. Can you talk about the plays and what happened for you?
Yeah, on that one, Burns did a really good job of, because he was my read on that play, he did a good job of charging the mesh. Obviously, I just got to make a split-second decision and, made the wrong one. And then the other time it was, it was zero coverage, and we had a speed option on, and just, ball got away from me a little bit.
That's why you do some push-ups, I believe, after, right?
Yeah.
Something you don't see quarterbacks do.
Yeah, I was just, a little ticked off after it. I didn't know what to do, and so I just started doing push-ups.
Sam, you got a chance to play with DJ last year. See him out there this year. He looks good. How would you describe him as a receiver? What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, DJ's, he's coming on as a leader, as he always has been. but he's coming on as a leader, and his route running and the way that he holds himself to a high standard in the building or here in Spartanburg and on the field. I think a lot of the young guys see it, and I think that just kind of steps up the play, not only of the receiver room, but of our whole offense and of our whole team.
There's a lot of wide receivers out there that'll talk and pretty cocky, whatever you want to say. He seems more mild-mannered. Doesn't say a whole lot, but proves it with his actions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if there's a question there, but no.
What do you see from this?
For DJ, I think he's always been that way, and he's not gonna be someone he's not, no matter what the circumstances, and that's exactly what you want in a guy like that, and he's not gonna change who he is, and why should he?
Baker says he went after Shaq and Dante and chirping messages to them. He would go after the head of the snake. Do you go after some of those guys, or are you more mild-mannered than that?
Yeah, I mean, you got to. Yeah, I mean, especially if they start talking trash to you, it's like you're not just going to sit back and take it. So, there's a point in time, especially during camp, where it gets competitive and fun, where you can start talking trash to those guys. And, it's funny, the defensive guys like to talk trash after a day where they have some success. You know what I mean? So it's fun to come out here and just play ball and compete that way.
How would you describe it?
What's that?
Are you good at it?
I do it my own way. I think that's something for other people to judge if I'm good at it or not. But I don't really care, to be honest. I just do it my own way.
Can you give us an example?
No, I cannot. Nothing comes to the top of my head.
Baker says that Shaq needs to work on his trash talk, and he doesn't know if Dante's good or if he just doesn't shut up.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing about Shaq is, Shaq will say something, then you'll say something back, and he'll just kind of laugh. He doesn't really have anything back to say. He thinks of that one thing, and then he says it to you, and he, can't really respond to anything. And then, D-Jack, same kind of thing. D-Jack's just loud. That's just D-Jack, though. That's a lot of the DB room in general is just really loud. And like I said, when they have success, you hear about it, and when they don't, you don't hear much. So.
For something in the line of pads, do you notice a different edge about the group? I know it's just been one day, but obviously a lot of it's great coming in.
For sure, yeah. Those, the line, they love to get the pads on, and when that opportunity came up today for 9-on-7 and some of the runs in team periods, they get a little juiced up and they have fun with it.
What's one thing you've learned about Baker in 1 week, and one thing that he has learned about you that maybe neither one of you knew before?
Yeah, I think you'd have to ask him what he learned about me, but for one, I think just the how hard Baker works. He's a really hard worker, and just the way that he's coming here, and the system's not easy to learn, and the way that he's coming here, and he's owned it, and he's asking all the right questions, all those things. So I can tell he's a really hard worker, and yeah.
We got time for one or two more guys.
Competition's settled. I mean,
You said when?
is there a sense of urgency because, for the team to get ready for week one and not know who the quarterback is?
Yeah. Again, that's not up to us. That's up to the coaches.
Sam, you said you wanted to get better each day before camp, and you acknowledge it's cliche, but do you feel like you've been building upon each practice, gradually getting better, or are there days you wish you could have back yet?
I think a lot of the guys on offense, that Fan Fest practice that we had on Saturday, I think a lot of guys would like to have that one back. But, at the end of the day, there's some practices where you're going to be on, some practices where you're not going to have it. I think it's just about, staying consistent with your mindset, especially at quarterback. I think that's the biggest thing is not going up and down in terms of your attitude, just staying constant and consistent with that, and that's pretty much it.
What was the conversation
Last one,
like when you and Baker, I guess, the quarterbacks in general, learned about Deshaun Watson's penalty coming out today? What was the conversation?
I think that was kind of the buzz that was circling, this whole time. I think it was 6 games. That was kind of the news. It was either going to be 6 games or, I think that was just it, to be honest. but there wasn't a whole lot of time, you know, from when we started camp to now for us to even think about it or dive into any of that. So, yeah, I honestly didn't really think about it that much.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.